the North Avon Road Renewal Scheme Plan, item number 7. There's more than one community board involved in this, and there was, I think, a suggestion that we add some wording just to make it clear that should any changes in terms of scope or budget be required in order to take on board, in order to progress this, because the document itself does identify some issues in relation to potential budget and scope issues, that the matters be referred back to the community board before they come back to council, so that the community board's the first port of call before it comes back to council, not the ITI committee, which the committees are not yet established, but the community boards are. So following the receipt of tenders, that any proposed changes in scope or adjustments to the plan renewal program budget or adjustments are referred to the joint community boards for discussion and their recommendations to come back to council, to the council.
Is it just 2 community boards now? So that's Innis and Central, is it?
Yeah.
Innis and Central? Yeah.
So it's now just the 2, it's the joint community boards, but it's the relevant, the joint.
To a meeting of the...
Yeah. Thank you.
To a meeting to come to a meeting of the council for decision, or a meeting of the joint community boards for discussion and their recommendation. Yep. All right.
Will we put relevant in there just to make sure it's clear?
Yeah, of the relevant to a joint meeting of the relevant community boards. No, move the word joint to a joint meeting of the relevant community boards.
Don't issue that.
And the new board boundaries, I believe it all falls in one board now. No,
It's 2, yeah.
2 sides of the road.
One side cuts out Burwood and Coastal.
Yeah. Right, okay, Yanni.
Yeah, I just wanted to add an additional resolution around just seeking a workshop with Orion to discuss undergrounding of wiring. So I recognise that it'll be it won't be able to be done in time for this street, but actually it was raised in the submissions. We did ask for information back from Orion, which we've had, and I think it'd be really good as a council to meet with Orion to get a kind of just a discussion around undergrounding wiring, and whether it's something that's worth doing or maybe not. But actually, it would be good to update it. We used to have a policy where we did it on minor and major arterials, and council cut that budget a few years ago. But I think it is timely to have that conversation again. Yeah,
I actually support this. I think it's a very good idea for us to have a joint workshop with Orion. The reason is that I know I'm a big fan of Orion, so they spent a lot of money many years ago building resilience into the network, which saved actually our city from being without power for over 3 months. That would have been the effect if they hadn't strengthened just the substations alone. They've they've created what they're calling the Northern Loop, which has actually provided for mechanisms for redundancy right throughout the network. So if one area goes out, they can rejoin somewhere else. I actually think that the whole council would benefit from meeting with Orion and getting a real sense of what they've done, but at the same time address the issue that Yanni's raised, which is, can we get more underground? The cost of going underground is hugely significant, and I always wonder why it can't be done at the same time as Enable going down our streets, but maybe that's something that we could ask and have answered at a seminar. Yep.
Look, I can certainly support that too, but clearly, from what you're saying, Julianne, this has to be, the discussion with Orion would need to be in the context of the current underground, I guess the undergrounding strategy or policy that we already have.
Yeah, but the issues of undergrounding services, it's in the context of of their entire work program, because I think people actually need to know what they've done in order to build resilience into the network going forward. I mean, they're a regulated entity. They had to prove to the Commerce Commission that some of their pricing wasn't taking advantage of the situation, but to reinstate the resilience, but also to improve the resilience of the system. I mean, we are very fortunate that we have Orion. I worry about other cities perhaps not being as well prepared as we were.
Well, look, there's no doubt that the work that they did with reinforcing the smaller substations really saved us over what we've been through, but I think we've also got to be realistic with regards to what we're doing for the future. You know, we want to keep rates down, we want to do a whole lot of things, but the expense of undergrounding, when we meet with Orion, which I think is a really good idea, when will the work program be back to normal for us as a city? Because if you look at the cost per kilometre, if you do 10 kilometres, that could be a community pool. You know, that money it's not magic money. We've got to actually pay for all this. We are in a tight position. We've got to look at what the priorities are for our city. And I'm sure at the moment, in due course, yes, we can get the undergrounding at some stage, but right now I don't think it is a priority for our communities.
Yeah, no, look, I tend to agree, but it's not the point of the workshop alone, and I want it to actually reflect that. So hold a workshop with Orion representatives to discuss the network, because we actually need to understand the network and the work that they have done to build resilience into the network post the earthquakes, and where that leaves us with respect to issues like the undergrounding of services.
I think that's really good, because the other thing that there is an issue with mature trees. So if you think some of the special amenity areas, or the areas that have those huge mature trees, and the whole health and safety now, the way in which those trees get maintained. So there's a lot of other issues, and other than, it's not just a case of putting things under because it looks better, but actually there's things around network resilience, urban amenity in terms of trees, for example. So I just think it would be really good to be informed. It's not to take a position one way or another, but simply to understand. I've had a literature search done through the library, and it's interesting. There are really, different views around the benefits of it. So I just think it would be really timely for this new council to get informed on it. And their program of undergrounding, the lines, is it, or undergrounding services.
So then can I just make the point again that in fact what Councillor Johansson just referred to, really, the background to that must lie in our current policy. So it will be clearly when we have the workshop, we need to understand that context.
Yeah, but we'll get a briefing before the workshop. Okay, so that's good. All right, so would someone like to move the motion? Yanni, seconded by Dion. Is there any discussion? I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried.